Hello everyone, it is Monday, May 4th, 2020, and we are entering the 8th week of COVID-19 response. Because we are starting a new month, I thought it would be timely for our community to hear an update on the major challenges our students are facing, class by class. Dr. Aubrey Knight will get us started with that update, and we will do the same on the first Monday of every month. The inability to conduct clinical rotations and other forms of experiential learning have spurred creativity. We are developing new electives that are relevant, valuable, and address challenges of our current circumstances. After Dr. Knight's briefing, we will hear from Dr. N.L. Bishop about a new elective he is developing on healthcare leadership in emergency management. The elective will provide insights from clinical and public health leaders with real-world crisis experience. My closing comments will include personal reflections on how leaders can support their teams and how we can support each other through the challenges we are facing.
My name is Aubrey Knight. I'm the Senior Dean for Student Affairs at the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine. I was asked to provide an update as to the status of students during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm pleased to say that our students are doing well despite the disruptions that have occurred. The class of 2020 has been forced to do their various celebrations and their last few rotations virtually, but despite all that, they are checking those last few boxes toward graduation. They had an incredibly successful match this year, with each member of the class of 2020 matching into categorical residencies. 7 of those students have matched into at least 1 year of residency with Carilion Clinic, so we'll be seeing some of them more often. Speaking of 7, at least 7 members of the class of 2020 had planned weddings this spring. Some of those weddings have been postponed, and others have found innovative ways to exchange vows. There promises to be many opportunities for this class to come together this summer with postponed weddings and postponed wedding receptions. The members of the class of 2021 were able to complete 3/4 of their clinical clerkships prior to COVID-19, forcing us to remove them from clinical rotations. They are now anxiously waiting the go-ahead to return to the hospitals and clinics. In the meantime, they are making preparations for residency applications. We have a record number of students from this particular class, the class of 2021, applying in residencies in pediatrics and obstetrics and gynecology. The disruption of the spring has been particularly hard on the class of 2022. Many were within weeks of taking the Step 1 examination when social distancing regulations took effect and the prometric centers were forced to close. The centers reopened on May 1st, but were only able to test half of the usual examinees. So students who had intended on taking Step 1 in April were forced to delay until June and in some cases, August. This class is also anxiously awaiting the return to the ability to return to the hospital so that they can start their third-year clerkships. The class of 2023 has moved to a virtual learning format early in Block 4 and are now in the last week of that block. They've all identified a research mentor and project and will begin working on their research as soon as Block 4 is complete. And the class of 2024 is taking shape as we look forward to an incoming class of 49 new students. Time will tell whether or not COVID-19 impacts the beginning of their medical school careers. So as you can see, there have been major disruptions. I've been inspired by the innovation of the faculty, the resilience of the students, and the flexibility from everyone. I'm confident we here at the Virginia Tech School of Medicine have remained true to our mission and that we will continue to prepare amazing people to be physician thought leaders who will serve their patients and communities well, and will have gained valuable lessons from the experiences of the spring and summer of 2020. Thank you.
During this COVID-19 pandemic, we have developed healthcare leadership in emergency management as an elective course for some of our students. I am part of Carilion Clinic's incident command teams that has been managing the organization's response and planning over these many weeks. The teams necessarily include physician leadership from the departments of emergency medicine, medicine and infectious disease, behavioral health, family and community medicine, and other areas. From time to time, situations arise causing healthcare settings to enter into disaster status with emergency management activation. The goal of this elective is to introduce medical students to the important roles assumed by leaders during a disaster or a crisis. Objectives include identifying issues that might create reasons for an institution or clinic to enter into emergency operations, describing the roles of leaders, identifying logistical issues such as interruption of operations, identifying psychological challenges that healthcare workers may face, recognizing the importance of communications to both the general public and internal workforce, and applying skills of interprofessionalism and teamwork. In addition to my own, lectures will be provided by Craig Bryant, Carilion Clinic's Director of Emergency Management, Dr. Cynthia Morrow, a physician leader with a strong background in public health, and Larry Hinker, former Chief Communications Officer of Virginia Tech, who was a key figure during the tragedy at Virginia Tech on April 16, 2007. The course will include readings, lectures, completion of online National Incident Management System or NIMS courses, and lots of interactive discussions.
Thank you, Drs. Knight and Bishop. Leading now feels different to me than leading before COVID struck. How it is different was hard for me to describe until I read a recent article on the psychology behind effective crisis leadership in Harvard Business Review. According to the author, when a leader's appeal rests on vision alone, leadership is not whole. Moving forward together in a crisis requires something else, and that is called holding. Holding describes the way another person contains and interprets what is happening in times of uncertainty. Containing refers to the ability to soothe distress. Interpreting is the ability to help others make sense of a confusing predicament. Leaders provide institutional holding when we strengthen the structure and culture of our organizations, when we explain what will happen to salaries, benefits, and working conditions during a crisis, when we set priorities based on our interpretation of facts, when we dispel rumors, offer encouragement and participation. Interpersonal holding is also important and something we can all do for each other. It relies on being in the present. It includes giving permission to feel whatever we are feeling without shame, and acknowledging distress. It encourages curiosity to consider different ways to understand the present and imagine the future. Holding is present when we show clear thinking, offer reassurance, orient each other to what is going on, and help our teams stick together. Through holding, we can promote mutual support, maintain the continuity of our work, and show openness to a new vision as the crisis emerges. I feel incredibly fortunate to be with you during this unprecedented time. We have limited opportunities to be in the same physical spaces, but we can hold each other even from a distance. We can validate concerns and soothe distress, share information, and find direction together through the uncertainties ahead. And by holding each other in this way, we can give and receive kindness and preserve the culture and climate of our community that we hold dear. Take care and stay safe. I'll see you again next week.